Hey everybody, Console Collector here. For today's video, I want to talk about a few games that I wanted to like. Now, I played all of these games, even beaten a few of them, and despite all that, I just couldn't like them. There's something about them that didn't sit right with me, and I want to talk about that today. It doesn't mean these games are bad. Some of them are actually good, but the problem is, for me personally, I didn't enjoy them or I didn't like them. They just didn't sit well with me. Some of these games were good. Some of these games were just boring. Some of these games just couldn't hold my interest, and some of them were just flat out bad. With that said, let's jump into it and take a look at a few games that I wanted to like, but I just couldn't. First game we have is The Walking Dead Survival Instinct for the PS3. This game was also released on the Xbox 360, but despite which way I played it, I did not enjoy it. Of all the games on today's list, I really did want to like this game. I love The Walking Dead. I really thought that the people that played this just gave it bad reviews for, unjust reasons, but I have to unfortunately say it's justified. I've actually given this game a play a few times, and every time I get into it, I get to a certain point and I just lose total interest. Not because of the story really, it's not a very good game. Half the time, I'm just struggling to figure out what to do, and then sometimes the controls just get in the way and I end up getting myself defeated because I can't take care of the zombies quick enough. I've played a lot of zombie games in my day, and this is definitely just one that doesn't sit well with me. It's not all bad though. I did enjoy some of the voice acting. It's actually done fairly well, but the overall gameplay of it, it's not good. I really did want to love this game. I tried so hard to just put up with it and get through it, but I can't. And it's really disappointing because it's the only game that I've played that's based on the Walking Dead TV show, and it sucks. If you want to play a good Walking Dead game, go play the Telltale Walking Dead games. They're not necessarily based on the show, but more on the comic, but they are phenomenal. Alright, let's talk about Glover for the N64. Glover is a 3D platformer for the N64. You're basically a glove. It's similar, I guess you could say, to Mario 64, Donkey Kong 64. It's kind of that genre of N64 style game. I actually played Glover when I was a teenager. I actually did a trade with a friend at school. I can't remember what game I traded him, but I got Glover in return. And I thought it looked awesome in some of the magazines that I seen it in, and I was really excited. Excitement quickly turned to disappointment. This game didn't look good, it didn't control well, and honestly, I had no idea what to do. But that was, teenage me figuring that out. But I gave it another shot as an adult, and it's no better. I know some people that actually love this game, and I tried to give it an honest, fair shot, but I'd rather just be playing Donkey Kong 64, or Banjo-Kazooie, or Mario 64. It has a really unique concept, and I don't know, it's just not for me. I don't like Glover. That may be an unpopular opinion, but as much as I wanted to love Glover, I just can't. It's not a game for me. Now let's talk about Land of the Dead Road to Fiddler's Green for the original Xbox. Now I remember when this game first came out. I was really excited. I just seen the Land of the Dead movie in the theaters, and I loved it, and I was really excited that they're going to make a video game based on it. I wish I could say I played it back then, but actually I didn't. It came out, was kind of unknown. I didn't even realize when it came out. I just remember reading about the announcements, and that was the end of it. I never heard anything else. So yeah, I missed this back in the day. When this game was released, I was actually really heavy into the GameCube and the PS2. I did have an original Xbox, but I only got it because I traded my Dreamcast for it. So this game came out, I was unaware, it blew by me, and I kind of forgot about it. And that was until I found this game years later as an adult, and I finally picked it up. I totally forgot about this game until I saw it sitting at a flea market one day. And then I remembered, oh yeah, Land of the Dead on Xbox. I really wanted that game. I didn't even know if it got canceled, if it actually did come out. I had no idea, but I picked it up and I was excited. I really love zombie games, and I was really hopeful for this one because I did enjoy the movie so much. I'm always willing to give zombie games a shot, and this one really disappointed me. When I play older games like this, I try to be a little forgiving with visuals and controls, and remember, this is how it was made back in the day. So I don't expect, perfect visuals, sound, and crisp controls on a game like this. But despite all that, this game still didn't sit well with me. The game is ugly looking. It's tough to play. It's really dark and gritty. It just doesn't look good. I found the difficulty to be insane. I was constantly getting defeated. I just couldn't take these zombies out. I don't know if it was me, but yeah, I just couldn't do anything. It just felt like I was handicapped from the start with this. I tried and tried and tried. I got a few levels into the game, and I just gotta say the difficulty is just too much. They don't give you enough to take out zombies. Like, I take out a couple and then 10 more would come, and you're just overwhelmed. And I hate zombie games like that where they don't equip you well enough to deal with these hordes of zombies. The other struggle with this game is I had no idea what I was doing. I'm so busy dealing with these overpowered zombies that I don't have time to explore and try to figure out what to do. It's just really, really frustrating when you're trying to explore a place, find items, look for locked doors and stuff, something to figure out what to do. But you're just dealing with zombies constantly, and you're wasting all your health and what little ammunition and weapons you have on them. I really did want to love this game. The movie's great, this game is not. I almost feel like they just took a generic zombie game and slapped the Land of the Dead name on it, because it doesn't even seem like you're in the movie. Mind you, I didn't get far enough in the game to find out, but yeah, it just feels like a generic zombie game that got the Land of the Dead name slapped on it, and that's too bad because it's a disappointing game. Now let's talk about Home Improvement for the Super Nintendo. I really wanted to like this game. Home Improvement is one of my favorite TV shows ever. I grew up watching it in the 90s, and from time to time I'll still pop it in nowadays and watch the DVDs. I actually rented this game when I was a kid. I remember at the beginning of Home Improvement on the TV show, you'd see the kids in a video game, and my little mind thought, that's how it's going to be. It's going to be awesome. But then I realized, what do you do in a game about home improvement and tools? Didn't really make sense to me, but I rented it anyway. I recall I couldn't even get past the first stage. I remember getting defeated by dinosaurs, and I was always confused as a kid as why is there dinosaurs in Home Improvement? Needless to say, I went back to the video rental store, and I never rented again. I ended up renting something that was actually good. So flash forward to today, and I picked this game up complete in box several years ago, and I thought, I'm an adult now. Maybe I was just a dumb kid and I couldn't figure this game out. I'm going to play it. Well, I got really far into this game, and it's still full of confusion. Why is there dinosaurs? Why is there all sorts of weird creatures and stuff in this game? Like, how is this a home improvement game? Honestly, though, what was I expecting where they take a 90s sitcom about tools and turn it into a video game? Well, I can tell you, I didn't expect dinosaurs and shooting lasers and stuff like that. That's for sure. Just to be clear about this game, though, I understand it now. Tim's basically backstage where they film a show, and that's what you're on. You're on different sets. That's why there's dinosaurs and really out of place things like that. I got a few levels deep into this game, and it's so repetitive. It's just kind of the same thing over and over and over, and it's not fun. It's not a good platformer. You know, it's too hard. I'm constantly getting defeated, and yeah, it's not a good game. As much as I wanted to love this home improvement game, it sucks, and it kind of hurts me to say that, but yeah, this is not a good game at all. Now let's talk about Dead Rising 4, Frank's Big Package. I really love the Dead Rising series. I've beaten 1, 2, and 3, and I enjoyed every single one of them. 3 was definitely the weakest of them all, but I finally popped in this game a few years ago, and I thought, number 4, Frank's back. This is going to be awesome. Now this is the prime example of, this is not a bad game. This game's actually pretty decent. The problem I had with this game is it didn't keep my interest. I gave it a good solid effort. It felt great. It played great. Like, really, it's not a bad game. It's just something about it didn't sit well with me, and I couldn't get through it. I got, I think, about 10 hours into it or so, and it just wasn't sitting well. Maybe I've grown up a bit, and the Dead Rising games aren't what they used to be to me, but it feels like the old games. It's just something about it. I couldn't get into it. I just couldn't stay hooked on it. Normally when I play zombie games, especially, I'm hooked. I want to play it. I'm having a ton of fun, but yeah, something about Dead Rising 4, Frank's Big Package, I just couldn't get interested in it. I just couldn't get through it. In saying that, I've actually restarted this game twice trying to get into it. If I had to pinpoint one thing about this game that just isn't sitting well with me, I think it's the Christmas theme of the game. Like, I don't understand it. Like, why Christmas? You could have did, Halloween. You could have just did a standard mall zombie game like the first one, but you didn't. You went with Christmas. The mall worked well with the first one. I felt Las Vegas theme worked well for the second one, and even the big open city in the third one worked pretty well. But yeah, Christmas with Dead Rising, I gotta say that's probably why I can't get into this game. I just don't agree with that. But again, it's not a bad game. I just didn't enjoy it, and I couldn't stay interested. Mega Man Soccer for the Super Nintendo. This game is not good. I really wanted to like this game. I love the Mega Man series. It's one of my favorite series ever. So I thought the Blue Bomber going outside his genre, this should be good, right? And it's made by Capcom. I'm always down to try a game where some of my favorite characters are outside their genre, so I had high hopes for Mega Man Soccer. Well, I can tell you, this is not a good game. I'm not a big soccer fan, but I don't mind playing the occasional soccer game, but it's not even because it's soccer, it's everything else that's wrong with this game. My biggest complaint about this is the teams. Let's say I pick Mega Man and someone picks Woodman or Fireman. Why does your whole team have to be Mega Mans and the other team has to be all Woodman? Why can't you mix it up and have different robot bosses or have different Mega Mans on your team? Like a bunch of Mega Mans playing together, it just doesn't make sense. Like, who thought of that? Yeah, you could call them clones or whatever, but it's just a huge missed opportunity. I would have loved to play a game where I get to have a bunch of robot bosses against Mega Man and Proto Man, Base, and all that stuff. And yeah, I know this is on the Super Nintendo, so not all those characters have come to fruition yet, but still, a bunch of Mega Mans against the same boss, multiples of the same boss, it's dumb. I don't like it. And aside from that, I hate how this game controls. I had problems passing, I had problems scoring. I'm just bad at soccer games maybe, but I didn't enjoy this game at all. And it's too bad because it's a Mega Man game that's a spin-off. It's outside its normal genre. Honestly, if you want to play a Super Nintendo soccer game, I think Super Soccer is great. I enjoyed that one. It's the one that has the Donald Trump looking dude on the cover. Yeah, that one's actually pretty good. And if you want to play a quirky soccer game from any genre, go play some Mario Striker games because that's how you do a crossover soccer game. Now let's talk about Alan Wake. I've had a struggle with this game for many years. I originally played it on the Xbox 360, got a few hours into it, and I stopped. On paper, this game should be excellent. This game should be right up my alley, but it's not. I don't even know why. It's not a bad game, I would say, from what I played. Lots of people love this game. The presentation of it's great. I just wasn't hooked. This is one of those games that I tried to love so much, but I just couldn't get into it. It just didn't keep my interest. It has a great overall atmosphere. The visuals are nice. You know, it's kind of got that creepy feel, the wandering around, exploring. All the stuff I love about games. But what is it with Alan Wake that I can't get into, that just can't get me hooked? It's such a battle with me that I actually bought the remake for PS4, and one of my good friends, Justin, he picked up the Xbox One version, and we planned to play it together at the same time so we could talk about the game. And I thought, this time I'm going to get through it. I got a friend to play it with. We're going to talk about it and get really into it. But even that didn't work. I got a few hours into it again, and I couldn't stay interested. It was a chore. I just didn't want to play it. And for me personally, I have so many games I want to play. I don't want to waste time playing games I'm not enjoying. And for some reason, Alan Wake is a game I just can't get into and I cannot enjoy. My friend Justin ended up getting through it and beating it, and he enjoyed it. So maybe it's just me. I don't know what it is, but something with Alan Wake and me, we just don't mix. And that's too bad because I want to like this game. Now we have Turok on the Xbox 360. I remember seeing this game at a thrift store many years ago for a couple bucks. And I thought, hey, Turok, isn't that N64 series? It's on the 360. Maybe it's a lot better than those games. I picked it up, and I was excited to play this game. I played a couple of the Turok games on the N64, and boy, those are hard to look at. Those are hard to play. I can't even play them. Like, it just hurts my eyes thinking about trying to play the original Turoks. I like the concept of dinosaurs in a first-person shooter, and I thought by now with the 360, maybe it looks great, plays great, and I ended up playing a big chunk of this game. This is another game that isn't bad. I actually enjoyed the little bit of time I played with it, but the biggest glaring problem I had with this game is it's kind of boring. I legit almost fell asleep playing this game one night. Yeah, and I never do that. I really enjoyed the dinosaur parts of this game. When dinosaurs were coming up on me and I had to take them out, I felt bad about defeating dinosaurs, but it's so few and far between where I'm running into dinosaurs. I honestly felt like I was defeating more people than dinosaurs. And when I wasn't taking out dinosaurs, I was taking out people over and over and over. And at that point, it felt like a generic first-person shooter, which there's tons of those in this generation of gaming. It's just first-person shooters, and I'm not the hugest fan of those. So I wish there was more dinosaur parts over human, but unfortunately, for as much as I played, it was just so much people. I don't want to defeat people. I'm playing Turok, the dinosaur hunter game. I want to hunt dinosaurs. So I ended up giving up on this game, never completing it. I was just so tired and bored of taking out people. I wanted more dinosaurs. And I feel like if they had more dinosaur interaction in this game, it'd be a lot better. This is Toxic Crusaders for the original Nintendo. Here's another game that I really wanted to like. I like the show, I like the Toxic Avenger movies, so I thought this game should be awesome. I picked this up years ago from my local retro video game store, and I really was excited. I even had a few of these toys when I was a kid, so I thought, NES game, this is one that I wanted to play as a kid, but I never rented it, and I never got it as a kid, so I had no idea what it was about. But yeah, I finally played it as an adult, and it's not good. Right off the bat, you're set up for disappointment in this game. You get the cool mop. You know, you take one hit, your mop's gone. And then you're punching. Like, what? What was the point of the mop? Literally, I hit one enemy with it, I got hit, mop's gone. So stupid. Why would you guys even put the mop in it? What a waste. So yeah, right at the start, I'm already disappointed and kind of upset I lost the mop. And then, some of the enemies are so hard to take out. You know what your power hit is in this game? You press select. Select. The most awkward button to push. I cannot stand that they did that. Like, why? Why would you do that? The select button. And with the NES controller, the select button is so mushy and soft. It's a menu button. It's not meant to be pushed over and over and over, let alone beating the whole game with it. And I beat this game. Yes, and I pushed select so much, I'm sure I wore out the rubber membrane in my controller. Like, what a dumb thing to do. That really upsets me. The select button, like, really? I felt like them putting that on the select button was a handicap right off the start. This game is hard, and having to push that select button over and over and over throughout this game was like a handicap. My hand hurt. It just wasn't fun. I guess thinking about it, Toxic Crusaders isn't a bad game. I just felt so handicapped right from the start, and by the end my hand was so tired and sore from having to push that select button so awkwardly that it just wasn't a fun experience. It does have some redeeming qualities, though. I thought the visuals were really good for the NES, and the music was great. I really did want to like this game, but that select button issue is just too much for me, and I can't see myself replaying this game anytime soon. Now let's talk about Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 3DS. What? I don't like a Smash Bros. Game? Yep, that's right. I'm a huge fan of Smash Bros., and trust me, it hurts me to not like this game. I understand why this game exists. They wanted Smash Bros. For people on the Wii U and for the 3DS, so nobody felt left out. But honestly, this is not a good game. At least not for me. Every time I played this game, I wish I was playing the Wii U version at the time. And now that Smash Ultimate's out, basically this game is irrelevant. There's no point of playing this. You can play Smash Bros. Ultimate anywhere you want. Unless you have some weird fixin' to play Smash Bros. On a 3DS, there's no reason to play this game at all. I do got to give it some props though. They crammed Smash Bros. On a 3DS, an underpowered handheld device. So props to them for that. You know, it's not that it's a bad game. It's just there's better ways to play Smash Bros. And yeah, I do not have any intentions of ever playing this again unless it's just to pop it in and show people how impressive the 3DS can be. Now we have a GameCube game. That's right, a GameCube game. And it's Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. This really isn't anything against Mario Golf Toadstool Tour specifically. I just don't like golf. I don't like it in games. I don't like it in real life. I don't even like watching it. And I'm bad at golf. I can't even do mini golf. I can't do, the golf games in Mario Party. Like, me and golf don't mix. Don't get me wrong. This isn't a bad game. I know lots of people that love the Mario Golf games, especially Toadstool Tour. It's just me. I don't like it. I can't get into it. I don't enjoy it. I do like the nice roster they have and all the cool courses and stuff and nod to Mario. But yeah, this game is not for me. That's why it's on this list. I want to love the Mario Golf games. I like the Mario sports games, but this one just doesn't work for me. Now let's talk about Car Mechanic Simulator for the PS4. I'm just going to start out by saying this game is excellent. This game is well done. This game is great for learning. It'd be an essential learning tool for anyone that wants to get into car repairs. Like, it's really well done. So why am I talking about it today? You know why? Because I fix cars for a living. And this game is so good and so realistic that it makes me feel like I'm at work. And I do not want to come home after working on cars all day, 5, 6 days a week, and work on more cars in my video games. No, not at all. I don't want to do that. That's why this game is here today. I have a couple of friends that are into cars, but they don't work on cars for a living, and they love this game. They can spend hours on it, fixing up cars, painting them, putting new motors in, taking them apart. Yeah, they love this game, and I understand. Again, it's a great tool. It's a great way to learn about repairing on cars. So if you actually want to know about cars and how they work, break them down, and paint processes and rebuilding engines, I recommend you get Car Mechanic Simulator, because coming from someone that works on cars every day, I highly recommend that game as a learning tool. But again, personally for me, I don't like it. I don't enjoy it because I don't want to fix cars all day and then come home and fix cars in a video game at night. Now, I want to talk about Bioshock on the PS3. It's also on the 360, but I happen to have played the PS3 version. I already know I'm going to get some hate for this one, but hear me out. I tried to love Bioshock. I know it has a huge fan base. Even my best friend loves Bioshock, the entire series. And I thought, what's wrong with me? I've never played Bioshock, so I popped it in and I give it a long, fair chance. The biggest problem I have with Bioshock is it didn't interest me, not even one bit. I wasn't hooked. It was a struggle to play and get through. I gave this game a fair, solid chance. I put over 10 hours into this game, and even at that mark, I still wasn't interested. It was just a struggle to keep playing this game. I kept telling myself, well, it probably gets better. People love this game. There's got to be a reason. I'm going to keep going. And honestly, it got to the point where it was time to play a game, and I just dreaded turning on Bioshock because it felt like work. And again, like I mentioned before, I don't want to play games that aren't interesting, that feel like work to me. Nothing against Bioshock. It plays well. It's a first-person shooter. I have no complaints with overall gameplay. It's fine. It's visually nice as well. Just the overall setting of it and the story just didn't hook me at all, like 0%. I've been told that Bioshock isn't actually the best Bioshock. Some people say that Bioshock Infinite is the best one. So maybe I should give the series another chance with that one. But as for just the original, I wasn't hooked. It was boring. It wasn't for me. Now let's talk about Chrono Trigger. Before the pitchforks come out, hear me out. I played this game and beat it on the Nintendo DS, which I heard was the best way to play it. There's other ways to play it, such as the Super Nintendo and the PlayStation 1, but I opted for the Nintendo DS version so I could pick it up and play whenever I had a chance. I'm going to start off by saying Chrono Trigger is a great game. It really is. It's a good RPG. I have no real complaints about it. I didn't find it too difficult. I found the story, fairly interesting, but there's the big problem with Chrono Trigger with me was, again, I wasn't hooked. It wasn't one of those like wow factor, I can't wait to play it every day RPGs. Some days I was fine picking up the DS and playing a little bit. It was fine. But other days I didn't feel like playing it, but I felt I invested so much time into this, I should get through it and see it to the end. I wasn't a huge fan of the time travel part of it. It got confusing for me, going through different times in the game, but I did manage to get through it without a guide. It just took longer than I would have liked. I found that the characters weren't very memorable as well. Again, this game just didn't grab me. It didn't pop and be like, wow, this is great. I know this is some people's favorite RPGs ever or some of their favorite games ever. Like one of my good friends, he absolutely loves this game and he told me for years, you got to play Chrono Trigger, you got to play it. And I'm glad I did because now I can talk about my experience with it and understand why people love it, but I don't personally love it. The Super Nintendo had a lot of great RPGs, and I personally really loved Super Mario RPG and Earthbound even. And those games I can go back to and play over and over and over, which is rare for me for RPGs, because normally I'm not an RPG guy, but those two just sat with me so well, and I love playing those. But for Chrono Trigger, I got through it. I have no desire to pick it up and play it again. I know there's different endings, but again, it doesn't interest me to go back to it. Honestly, I don't have a lot of bad things to say about Chrono Trigger. It is a good game. It's well done, and I see why people love it. It's just personally not for me. It didn't hook me. It didn't grab me. And I wanted to like it. I wanted to get on that hype train and say how great Chrono Trigger was, but it's just a fine game for me. I don't have anything else really to say about it. It's a fine RPG. You guys should play it like I did so you can experience for yourself. Alright, so that's it. These are some games that I wanted to like, but I just couldn't. I know some of these opinions may not be the most popular, so let's get a conversation going. Let me know in the comments below. What do you like about these games, or what do you dislike about these games? I want to know, am I wrong about these games? Maybe you can change my mind. But For now, this is how I feel about these games, and I'm okay with that. Finally, I'd like to know, is there any games that you guys played that you just didn't enjoy? Let me know about them in the comments below. Maybe I'll enjoy them and you didn't, just like some of these games you may enjoy, but I didn't. Alright, that's going to wrap up today's video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'd really appreciate it. You can follow me on social media. The information is on screen now and in the description below. I want to thank everybody for watching. I am the Console Collector, and until the next video, happy gaming.